This is a story about my first non-stop solo sailing experience and a journey through the bizarre landscape of the Velebit Channel. I'll show you places which are rarely visited with the boat and breathtaking landscapes in the kingdom of the Bora, the wind of the Adriatic Sea. Come along with me and enjoy. In Chapter 2 I will head for the Velebit Channel and go to its southernmost end and then head back north. Hi, here I am now. It took me actually a really long time to finish this video, but that's mostly because a lot of things happened in my personal life. Also, I moved twice, so here I'm now in my new flat, and that's my video production room where I do all the video editing. And well, before we start the video, I just like to tell you that some things go wrong. So actually what happened during my last trip last September is that I used this Sennheiser microphone, which is a really high quality microphone that gives excellent results even under windy conditions. But unfortunately, I dropped my smartphone into the sea, which I use to produce the clips where you can see me and I do all the explanations. And although the phone still works, somehow the microphone jack where I connect the microphone to it somehow got broken. So the result is that all clips or most of the clips that I did with this phone just have silence, so there is no sound at all. So unfortunately I couldn't put all those clips with all the explanations into the video since, as I said, they're just silent. And I had to improvise a little bit, but still I hope that it's a good video again. And so let's go ahead and watch what I have to show you about the Velebit Channel. In my last video, I did a long non-stop trip along the Croatian coast and went through the night. Finally, I anchored in the beautiful bay of Sakarun on Dugi Otok. And here starts my new adventure. In the morning, it was very calm and I climbed the mast to remount the deflection sheaves of the lazy jacks. Afterwards, I navigated through several island passages into the direction of the mainland coast. On the way, there was enough time to do some repairs. I cut off and removed the old broken bleeds from the mast. I passed the island of Vir to the east through the Canal Povljana. From now on, I'm navigating in an area which is rarely visited by boats. In the evening, I anchored at the islet of Sečevo near the southernmost entrance to the Velebit Channel. The next morning was absolutely calm. I made some breakfast coffee, and after a while of enjoying the silence, I lifted the anchor and headed for the Ljubačka Vrata, which means something like the adorable gate. It is the southernmost entrance into the Velebit Channel through the bridge of Pag, which is 33 meters high and connects the island of Pag to the mainland by spanning the Narrow, which is only about 300 meters wide. The Bora hits the bridge very hard every time when it blows. In the spring of 2019, a wind speed of over 100 knots was measured. After passing the bridge, I sailed further south along the majestic Velebit. At its southern end, the Strait of Maslenica connects the Novigrad Sea to the Velebit Channel. It is a 4-kilometer long channel with steep cliffs, which is just about 400 meters wide. It is spanned by two bridges, the new highway bridge and the old Maslenica bridge. The latter was built as a replica of the original one, which was destroyed in the Croatian War of Independence in 1991. Today, the bridge handles the local traffic, but is also used for bungee jumping. I passed the Novigrad Sea to its southern coast and went alongside in the quaint village of Novigrad. The next day started with a light breeze and later became completely calm. Since the Novigrad Sea is a dead end, I had to motor out back north again. In the flat sea I could spot a bunch of Mediterranean jellyfish, also called fried egg jellyfish. They can reach up to 40 centimeters. It usually has little or no effect on humans. I again passed the two bridges back into the Velebit Channel. Later, I passed the Lubačka Vrata, where I went through the day before on a completely calm sea. On starboard, the impressive Velebit Mountains, and on port side, the deserted island of Pag. The sea was absolutely calm during the day, and I passed several picturesque villages which reside on the foot of the mountains. After about 7 hours of motoring, I came close to my final destination. A well-sheltered bay on the northeast side of Pag called Uvala Veliki Svetojan. The weather was about to change since a cold front was about to pass across the Adriatic Sea in the night. Time to leave the Velebit Channel, since at least a light bora might be expected afterwards. The bay is completely enclosed and gives an all-around shelter, well suited for this night. The ground has a good holding and I put enough chain to be safe overnight. As it turned out later, it was a good choice, since a heavy thunderstorm came with the truck. After a stormy night, the next morning was very calm again. I motored out of this awesome bay, had some breakfast and did some typical sailor jobs. After a while I spotted some other sailboats and I could set sails a little bit later. It was a pretty light breeze, but the boat moves. Unfortunately, it did not last very long and I had to start the engine again. My target for this day was my favorite bay near my home port, Uvala Kružija. The sky cleared up completely. I anchored with the stern to the shore, as usual. Some time ago, I drilled 2 steel rings into the rocks that I can easily fix my mooring lines. I used the time to record a new podcast in my boat office.
Ja, grüß euch und herzlich willkommen bei Schiffkettenmannschaft, dem deutschsprachigen Podcast für Seglerinnen und Segler mit verschiedensten Themen rund ums Segeln und die Seefahrt.
The next day started beautifully, and I prepared for a walk on this small uninhabited island and enjoyed the nature. Later, I left the island and went to the city of Krk to refuel the boat. Finally, the wind picked up a little bit and I could set sails and went back to my home port. Every journey comes to an end. On the last day, the weather was beautiful and I sailed back to my home port. I hope that you enjoyed my video and I'd like to strongly recommend to sail into this stunning area of the Croatian Sea. Just be careful to pick the right weather window, since it is very well known for its severe gusts off the mountains. Stay tuned for my next video.